Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up guys? Dave here for another video. I hope that every single one of you is having a wonderful day. I usually don't do movie reviews because this is mostly a car channel, but since Furious 7 is kind of in relation to our culture and has a lot of cars in it, let's talk about Furious 7. It's been highly recommended that I talk about my experience watching it, and I gave it a little bit of time to kind of cool down after the release. Everybody else has already reviewed it, so I'm not really rushing. And it was more interesting to see people's reaction to it, all over the social media like Twitter and Facebook. The reason I say that is because you had people posting things about the movie 4 days later, about how it made them feel, how much they enjoyed it, how they want to see it again. And not too many movies do that anymore. But when it's in such relation to our car culture, let's talk about it. Furious 7 takes place all over the place, but mostly Los Angeles. And in the beginning, they go to the nostalgic race wars. That is from the very first movie that came out in 2001. That is mind-blowing to think about. But it was really nostalgic. It was really cool seeing the desert again. And apparently they filmed it at Willow Springs, so something us YouTubers and car channels know very, very well. So with that, they move on and go through the story, and a lot of things happen with Jason Statham, who is basically the transporter, and he's out to kill everybody because they killed or injured his brother. You have two different storylines, essentially, where Vin Diesel and his crew are trying to steal the God's Eye, that big, crazy, analytical thing that tracks people. But at the same time, you have Statham trying to ruin them. So you have a lot of things going on, but it's not too jarring to the point where it's annoying. But Furious 7, do I recommend it? Yes, I'm jumping really fast. I totally recommend it if one, you're a car person, two, you can handle a movie that is completely unrealistic and you can just lay back and laugh and have a good time. Fast and Furious is one of those franchises in the car world where people love it or they hate it with a passion. And it's mostly because they go, insert complaint here, it's gonna make young kids want to drive fast, it's gonna make them want to be reckless and street race and blah blah blah. And then there's the other side of us who accept it for what it is. It's a fun, silly popcorn flick, and we just have a good time looking at cars. I mean, you have the freaking hypersport going in between buildings in Dubai. Like, you're just like, that's not possible, but it was really, really cool. So I enjoyed it, but I'm more here to talk about the elephant in the room, which is Mr. Paul Walker. Now, Paul Walker passed away a little bit over a year ago, which I can't even believe. It's crazy to think it's been that long already. It's his send-off that most of us were wondering, how are they gonna do that? And with that, they had to rewrite a bunch of the script, they had to fix a bunch of things. The movie was originally supposed to come out a very long time ago, and with the interruption of shooting, they had to change a lot of things and figure out, what do we do with his character? What do we do? Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, you might want to click away for a little while. But I think it was genius what they did with taking the white Supra and splitting the paths with Vin Diesel. And you have that kind of white, angelic kind of feeling, he's gone, he's passed away, but he's moving on to greater things. And you have Dominic, who's going on the journey even more. So if they ever do make a Furious 8, which I think they announced, but whatever, if they do, there's still gonna be some action with Vin Diesel and everybody else. What they did with Paul Walker's face with CGI and using his brother, which is incredible. The reason I say it's incredible is because Hollywood hadn't really figured out the whole face and CGI thing 100% yet. A big example I use is Tron Legacy, where they took Jeff Bridges and they tried to make the bad guy him in his younger form, but it just had that kind of like rubbery look to it like that, and his eyes, they just weren't lifelike enough. But now you look at that and you're just like, wow. And they didn't linger on the shot too long for the human brain to detect it was not him. So that one glimpse of him looking back at Vin Diesel was fantastic. But the vibe after the theater was very, very quiet and very emotional. And it's more because I had friends who were saying, man, I hated that ending. I'm like, how did you hate that ending? It was fine. They did a good job. And they're like, no, the ending's that good that it makes me feel sad. I'm like, well, it's more to honor him than make you feel sad. So I guess that makes sense. I know this is going to be a weird comparison. I promise I'll try and make it make sense. But whoever is watching this and they saw American Sniper, for example, Chris Kyle, who also passed away, and they honored him at the end. It was kind of the same vibe. It was a little bit more upbeat because Chris Kyle, you know, it was very quiet in the theater, like not a word was said. And with the Paul Walker thing, people got up and kind of mumbled for a little bit, talking a little bit. You hear the sniffles, you hear the little, I had the man tear. I did that one man tear. But I'm being a broken record here, guys. We all pretty much know, due to his track record, he was a pretty cool dude. And to give him that kind of send-off, I give Universal and all of them the utmost respect, because that had to be a challenge to either figure out what to do with the character of Brian O'Connor. Do we kill him off? Which I would have been pissed with, to be honest. If they actually did that, I would have been like, that was kind of wrong. Giving him that send-off, saying he's taking care of his family, which a lot of times in life, that's how things go. A lot of us will go on our adventures, go on our journey, and then we settle down. So it's a very believable ending to Brian O'Connor's story, and I'm glad to say that I was satisfied. So going back to the action, I really enjoyed that they took the cars and they purposely built them for that one scene in the mountains, which of course a bunch of those crashes were totally brutal and probably unsurvivable, but let's not talk about that. In the end, I enjoyed the movie. It was a good time, and it was a great send-off to a big name in the car world, and I hope that you guys did too. So, question of the day. What did you think of Furious 7? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure Dylan Francis got a jump in record sales too, so good for you, Dylan.